Dragoncon turned 30 this year, and I think it's safe to say that it's definitely turned into an annual landmark. For long Labor Day weekend, a couple of square city blocks are transformed into a dreamland from your childhood. But how do you navigate this cluster of costume crowds and actually be in the sights you came to see? I'm Dexter Doug.
And I'm Eddie Bueno.
And this is CoPlay's weekend at Dragoncon 2016. Alright, so it's Friday, you got your badge and your Mario tee on, and you're just sitting there at work glaring at every last second on the clock. And when it comes time, you race downstairs and jump into your car and you tear off towards ground zero. But before you know it, you hit a wall of shit and traffic and people, and man, it's hot as fuck, and you got swamp ass from work. Look, man, if you want to do a con, you got to get a room there. The greatest part for me was in the lobby in the Marriott, when you use just a whole room of characters hanging out until whenever. I truly felt like I missed out on the party by not being able to, stay down there and take it all in. Day by day, you do get to enjoy a lot of attractions, exhibits, and panels, and it's a great place to chill and just enjoy some air conditioning while you play a game or two with a fellow person at the con. You may meet a fellow cosplayer, or even a creator of some of your favorite content. Definitely the greatest people at that con, though, are your fellow con goers. So this is your first. This wasn't your first con. You said you went to MomoCon in 2010.
Went to MomoCon in 2010. Whenever Street Fighter 4 was out. Okay. We went for a tournament because we needed some money.
Y'all went to the tournament for money?
I mean, why else would we play in a tournament?
Okay. So how did it compare? How did it compare to Dragoncon then?
I mean, it's incomparable.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely insane, DragonCon.
Yeah.
MomoCon, but again, when I went to MomoCon, it was early in its years. It was like a baby.
It really took off. Matter of fact, I think they have partnership now with DragonCon. The people who are in MomoCon, it's like partnership activity administration.
Well, actually, all the consoles and the LAN shit that was going on,
right?
That was all brought by MomoCon. MomoCon had stuff everywhere there.
Okay, see, I went with Reggie and D. Back in a few months ago.
Back in
for MomoCon 2016, right? And they really had a big game spot there. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. But DragonCon though, what was it like? Did you like it?
Man, that shit was pretty cool. I mean, It was cool to see all the different shit out there, all the different people in the cosplay. Panels were good as long as you can get into them. They're really hard to get into. You really have to get to things earlier. Plan your day. Use the app. The app worked out really well. Yeah. You could schedule your day, but really getting into panels and getting there on time wasn't as easy as I thought it would be.
Yeah. Same thing with MomoCon. It's one of those things you wish you could turn the time back,
right?
And do it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first big convention to go to. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I got to a few panels. There was an art panel on building your brand. There was a VR panel about upcoming things, all the new VR stuff coming out. Hyperkin panel that was really cool. They're making that that attachment for the Android.
Okay.
That makes your Android into an old Game Boy.
Yeah.
And it plays cartridges.
Yeah.
That shit is
emulators on my phone.
Tight.
It works out well.
That shit is tight.
So, you're Hyperkin?
Okay, so we're indie. Well, I guess for now we can say we're a gaming hardware developer. We have indie roots, but we specialize in retro gaming, and now we're kind of breaking into modern gaming. We early on in our company, we started making like controllers for like retro consoles, NES controllers, Super Nintendo controllers. We made the Retron 1, which plays NES games, Retron 2, Retron 3, and expanded going from like NES, and then Retron 2 can play SNES and the Genesis, or SNES and NES. Retron 3 plays SNES, Genesis, and NES. And so we actually came out with, in 2014, the Retron 5, which is, right now, it's the only thing in existence like this. It's a 10-in-1 console. And so, yeah, it plays, and I'm gonna have to take a deep breath for this. NES, SNES, Genesis, Mega Drive, Famicom, Super Famicom, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Sega Master System if you have a power-based converter. So, all of that outputs a 720p HD and has its own controller. It's basically like, Swiss Army knife of like a retro gaming.
That's actually a huge difference between MomoCon and DragonCon. Dragon is a lot more, focused around, say, like tabletop gaming.
Well, it came from that.
Yeah, that's right. It did come from that.
Yeah.
A lot of anime feel to it too. Is that stuff like that more appeals to you more, or was DragonCon like?
I mean, I like everything. I'm not gonna be out there LARPing.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be a LARPer. I'm not
Okay.
Dares. Dares might LARP once or twice.
I've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's had a story or two. Maybe we get to hear about that at a different time.
Right.
But it was cool to see everything. It was cool to play the arcade games. I played the shit out of some arcade games.
Right.
I played some console games. I like playing games. The vendors were cool as shit. It was just expensive.
Yeah.
That
it's
shit
expensive
that
and
shit
it's
is
crowded and
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, I know, right? Hit those vendors early.
Word.
Hit them
early.
Hit those vendors early.
And Fridays.
Oh,
Fridays are the days you want to go.
Take advantage of that Friday. I was there for Friday.
Yeah, and you got a ticket, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, you got a membership.
I got a membership.
It's called membership.
Like $40.
$40.
$40
for a day.
For a day.
Right.
But there was no lines.
Right.
There was literally no lines.
It was quick.
It was quick.
It was a hill.
But yeah, there was a hill. There was a hill. Shout out to humanity. I saw a stranger pushing a stranger in a wheelchair up that hill, man. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
He wasn't even dressed as Deadpool. What was it like on Saturday though? Saturday was a completely different monster.
Saturday was a beast of people. Insane amounts of people everywhere, every sidewalk, anywhere in that vicinity of Hooters downtown, where all those hotels are. Because it was at the Hyatt, it was at the Westin, it was at the Marriott, it was at the Hilton, it was at the America's Mart. Oh man, the America's Mart was so filled. Okay, so the first building is where the arcade was, and the LARPing and the board games. That's where the America's Mart building one. On building 2 was the vendors, and there were so many people that they locked the doors.
Oh, you couldn't even get inside.
Couldn't even get. You had to wait to get inside because they locked the doors.
You mentioned the estimates earlier on like how many people were there. How many people were at DragonCon?
I think before it even started, they said it was 70,000 people, but I think it was like the tickets sold or whatever, memberships.
Okay.
And then it was like, actually, I think Saturday was like 90,000 people.
Oh God.
Just downtown.
Wow.
Yeah.
It really transformed downtown too. Like downtown Atlanta is one of those, kind of like culture-free, capitalist spots. You got the Hooters, and you got, the chains and all that.
The rib place, the barbecue place across the street.
You're starting to get some more hipster spots in Atlanta. Atlanta's coming up. But yeah, they really transformed that place.
I mean, it did bring a lot of money downtown. So downstairs in Peachtree Plaza, Peachtree Plaza is right in the middle of everything down there.
Yeah.
And when you go downstairs, you can exit out 3 or 4 different places and end up near something in the con.
Yeah,
the amount of people down there every hour of the day that it was open was insane. The amount of money people spent on junk food.
Yo, Papa John's was there strong, man.
Man, Papa John's was every corner selling
Every
pieces for like
corner,
$4.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to like blot out Starbucks.
Yeah.
When on the spots. So I said earlier, my favorite spot was just being in the hotel lobby. There was like 4 hotels involved with it all.
Right.
But it was like the Marriott was like the most official place. Like if you do in MoMA, I do Marriott, son, do Marriott.
Well, Marriott was where they had the headquarters. Yeah, it was the Marriott or the Hyatt was where the headquarters was.
Okay.
And the Marriott was where they had the Marriott was where they had the cosplay competition.
Let me ask you this: I know we were there at the Marriott lobby. Did you check out the other lobby? What was the name of that hotel brand again? Where we got tickets, passes, memberships.
The Sheraton.
Yeah. What was the lobby?
I don't.
Like, did you go in there on Saturday?
No. Why would I? No. There's no reason for me to go near that place.
Hill, man.
That hill down there. First off, walking down the hill is nothing, but walking up the hill is the worst part of your life at that point.
Yo. Con pro tips: make sure you plan your hills.
Yes.
Don't haphazardly go down these hills because
Dragoncon will have your legs working for real.
Yeah.
But why would there's no reason for me to go back down to that Sheraton. I heard so I saw some family members later on in the day that got some tickets, and they said they had to wait in line from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
So that means they had to wake up at like 5 o'clock and drag the family out like 6 o'clock or something like that.
And wait in line for 2 hours. So with DragonCon, you can't buy a Saturday pass.
And the parking, son.
Right.
No one talks about the parking, but the parking is where they get you.
Right. The parking is where they will get you to pay downtown. You will support the economy that way.
You will support the con.
You will support the con. That way.
Oh yeah, that's true. Did you catch any like panels that were like good to you? Like, did you
so I didn't.
There were workshops and stuff.
There were panels I wanted to get to that I couldn't get into because I did not plan how much time you have to be there before a panel starts. And I thought, I could do a panel from like 1 to 2 and then do the next one from 2 to 3 at the hotel that's 3 blocks away. And when you get there, the panel's full and they won't let you in for anything. Yeah. But the panels I did go to were pretty cool, man. The branding panel with Jasmine Beket-Griffith was really good. She talked about like her building her own brand, working with Disney. Sam F, I can't remember his last name, talked about how he worked for Magic: The Gathering and how working with a known brand can hinder your separation from it. The Hyperkin panel was my favorite because I like retro games, I like consoles, and I don't like to steal. So the consoles that they make are pretty much 10-in-1, 5-in-1, Super Nintendo, Segas with cartridge support. So I was like, man, that was extra cool. And they had that peripherals. They do 2 types of new age peripherals that I think are cool. That Android Game Boy attachment that turns your Android into a Game Boy that plays Game Boy cartridges. And they make accessories for VR equipment. Because apparently hygiene is really important with VR. And you imagine if you go to a con where thousands of people are putting on this VR headset and everyone's a gamer, someone's gonna have some rough oily skin and you probably don't want that on your face. So they make hygienic VR peripherals. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the lightning round here. Let's fire off some quick questions. All right, you ready? Okay, go. What was your favorite cosplay?
Man, my favorite cosplay was the Fallout 4 guys.
Okay. If I gave you a limitless credit card and you had it for 15 minutes, what do you do?
Man, I'd go to the vendors and buy every Rick and Morty shirt, every one of those pop art dolls, and every bit of the Pokey that they sell. Hockey Pokey.
Wrong. You buy the entire, area. You buy the land. It's a limitless credit card, man. You gotta use your imagination. Okay.
Man.
Well, yeah. Dragoncon 2016, man. It was pretty straight. I really can't wait for the next year's Dragoncon.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited for next year, man. Now that I know the lay of the land,
Yeah.
I know how to maneuver. I know how to get to things, when to get to things. I will never miss that game show again. That pissed me off with that 50, 60 people in line that couldn't even get in because the line was there for like 40 minutes. I'll never miss that game show again.
Damn.
Yeah, it was too real.
But yo, this is Dexter.
And I'm Eddie B.
We're out.